Deep within your mind lies a silent, inexhaustible power. A power that works day and night without your conscious awareness. A power capable of repairing your body, restoring your energy, and awakening the health that was always meant to be yours. Imagine that the wisest, most compassionate, most dedicated doctor you could ever meet doesn't live in a hospital or a laboratory, but within you, in the depths of your subconscious. Imagine discovering that the key to reversing illness, accelerating healing, and living in wholeness is not found in a bottle of pills, but in the way you think, believe, and direct your inner mind. Joseph Murphy, a pioneer in unveiling the mysteries of the subconscious mind, revealed decades ago a principle that still transforms lives today. Your subconscious is your doctor. What you plant in it with faith and conviction manifests in your body and in your reality. This text is not merely a collection of words. It is a call to awaken, a reminder that your mind is not merely a spectator of your health, but the silent architect that shapes it every single day. Prepare to embark on a journey where science meets the spiritual, where deep-seated beliefs transform into healing forces, and where you will discover that the cure you've been searching for outside has always been within you. Take a deep breath. Open your mind, because what you are about to hear may forever change the way you see your body, your mind, and your power to heal. For more than 40 years, I have had the privilege of witnessing healings that medicine classified as impossible. I have seen tumors vanish without surgery, weak hearts start beating strongly again, bones regenerate at unusual speeds, and autoimmune diseases completely reverse. These were not miracles in the magical sense of the word, but natural manifestations of a law that operates precisely and consistently, the law of the subconscious in action. What we call a miracle is nothing more than the result of correctly applying an eternal truth that, until now, has been ignored by most. This truth is that within you resides an infinite healing intelligence that responds immediately to the commands of your deep mind. The world's most prestigious hospitals document thousands of cases of spontaneous remission every year. Terminal cancer patients who recover overnight, paralyzed individuals who walk again without surgical intervention, chronic ailments that disappear with no medical explanation. What is the common cause of these events? In every case, something changed in the patient's mind. Despair was abandoned, belief was installed, a new image of health was planted, and the body obeyed. Science records them but does not yet fully understand them. Religion celebrates them but does not always explain them. Here we decode them with precision. They are the direct result of a mind that has learned to communicate with its inner source of healing power. Medicine has confirmed what ancient prophets and New Thought sages affirmed centuries ago. Your thoughts are not abstract events, but biochemical commands that alter your physiology. A fearful thought triggers a hormonal cascade that weakens your immune system. A peaceful thought generates a series of signals that regenerate tissue and harmonize organ functions. Modern psychoneuroimmunology studies this connection between mind, nervous system, and immune system, confirming what we have been teaching for decades. Your mind can literally heal you, but not just any part of your mind. It is the subconscious, the silent repository of beliefs, images, and mental habits that governs health or disease. Your subconscious regulates your heart rate, blood pressure, digestion, defenses, and cellular repair. It does this constantly without your conscious effort. What few understand is that this automatic system can be reprogrammed. Yes, you can speak to your subconscious. You can direct this intelligence with precision toward any organ, gland, or cell. And when you do it correctly, consistently, and emotionally, the entire body enters a state of restoration. There is no limit to what can be achieved when you and your inner mind work in harmony. I now invite you to a sincere self-assessment. What do you truly believe about healing? Are you convinced that certain organs are beyond help? Do you repeat phrases like, "I was born with this disease," or "this is hereditary"? You have unknowingly adopted the programming of family members, doctors, or media that say your condition is incurable. Recognize that before you can change your body, you must change the mental blueprint that creates it. This book is a practical and profound guide to activating the healing power that already lives within you. You are not learning to create health from scratch, but to remove the mental obstacles that block it. You will do this with images, words, visualizations, affirmations, breathing, prayers, and focused mental acts. Step by step, chapter by chapter, you will discover that the miracle you are waiting for does not come from outside. It is born from within. And now the subconscious begins the healing miracles. Based on the teachings of Joseph Murphy, we have noticed that more than 80% of those who visit our channel are not subscribed. You can support this project by pressing the subscribe button and liking the video. Thank you for inspiring us to continue creating more and better content for you. Are you ready to transform your life? Chapter 1. The Science Behind Medical Miracles. Most people associate the word miracle with the inexplicable, the supernatural, or even the mystical. However, a miracle, from the perspective of mental and spiritual law, is nothing more than the natural manifestation of a higher law acting on a lower plane. In other words, when you consciously understand and apply a law of the mind, and it produces an extraordinary result, such as the recovery from an incurable disease, you are not breaking the laws of nature. You are discovering and obeying a law that transcends them in order and power. What we call a medical miracle is simply the perfect obedience of your body to a new programming in your subconscious mind. The doctor administers an injection, but does not create the healing process. The surgeon removes a tumor, but does not generate the tissues that replace it. The drug acts as a vehicle, but it does not possess intelligence on its own. The one who organizes, regulates, and executes the regenerative process we observe in every healing is your subconscious mind. The answer is clear and scientific: the subconscious intelligence that resides in every cell of your body. This intelligence predates any medicine, is superior to any scalpel, and more precise than any medical protocol. It is not that I deny the benefits of medicine, they are immense, but I want to show you that all true healing is internal. It begins in your mind and unfolds through your body like a symphony, orchestrated from the invisible. At this very moment, as you read these lines, your subconscious is regulating your body temperature, balancing your blood pressure, producing blood cells, eliminating toxins, and repairing worn tissues. You do not need to remind your heart to beat, instruct your pancreas to release insulin, or ask your lungs to exchange oxygen for carbon dioxide. These functions, which we call automatic, are in truth overseen by the subconscious mind, which acts as the silent engineer of your health. This same subconscious mind can, if commanded with authority, produce total healing, even where traditional medicine has declared itself powerless. He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. Psalm 91:1. That shadow of the Almighty is your own subconscious mind acting under a spiritual directive. You may ask, how can a mental idea produce cellular transformation? To answer, consider this fundamental fact. Every thought generates a biochemical reaction. When you think of something that terrifies you, your body responds by releasing adrenaline, cortisol, accelerating your pulse and tensing your muscles. When you think of something that inspires tenderness, neurotransmitters such as oxytocin, serotonin, and dopamine are activated. What is the causal agent of these changes? A simple thought. Therefore, if an idea can accelerate your heart or block your digestion, it can also regenerate tissue, dissolve an infection, or rebalance your immune system. This phenomenon has been widely studied by science under the name psychoneuroimmunology, the discipline that explores the relationship between thoughts, the nervous system, and the immune system. The hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis acts as a bridge between your emotions and your organs. When you harbor thoughts of despair, chronic fear, guilt, or repressed anger, you are literally poisoning your body, not figuratively, but biochemically. Excess cortisol damages tissues, weakens your immune system, and favors all kinds of degenerative disorders. On the other hand, when you cultivate thoughts of gratitude, peace, purpose, and love, you flood your body with substances that promote regeneration, such as endorphins, interleukins, and other compounds whose function is literally to heal. Allow me to share the case of a man who came to my office diagnosed with metastatic melanoma. Doctors estimated he had 6 months to live. He told me, "My body is full of cancer." I responded firmly, "No, your body is full of life. It is your mind that has accepted the image of cancer as irrevocable. We will replace that image with another." I asked him to repeat every night before sleeping, My subconscious is dissolving every abnormal cell and reconstructing my body in the image of perfect health that God imprinted in me from the beginning. I also taught him to visualize his immune system as an army of light, eliminating everything that does not belong to the Creator's original design. After 3 months, medical tests showed a significant reduction. At 6 months, there were no traces of the disease. The oncologist declared, "This is a spontaneous remission." I said, "It was a conscious healing directed by the law of the subconscious." Another case, a woman suffering from systemic lupus. She could not walk without pain. She was on medication but kept worsening. I asked, "How do you feel about your life?" She responded with deep resentment. I taught her that sustained resentment becomes biological self-abuse. I offered her a simple but powerful formula. I forgive, I release, and I bless. Love flows through every cell of my being. After several weeks of daily practice, not only did her symptoms diminish, but her face, once rigid and somber, returned to a smile. The rheumatologist, perplexed, said, "I have never seen improvement like this with standard treatment alone." Her soul no longer fought with itself. The body obeyed. You may be surprised to learn that even so-called multiple personality cases have shown astonishing medical evidence. In the same body, one personality presents diabetes and needs insulin, while another does not. One personality develops allergies to citrus while the other digests them without issue. How is this possible? Because the body is the immediate reflection of the mind inhabiting it at every moment. Do you understand the message? You can choose which mind governs your body, the mind of disease or the mind of health. It is not necessary to reject medicine, but it is necessary to understand that no external treatment is lasting without an internal cause to sustain it. If your mind does not cooperate with healing, any intervention will be temporary. But if your mind aligns with life, even the simplest treatments will produce extraordinary results. That is why Jesus said, "According to your faith, let it be done to you." Matthew 9:29. Faith, in the language of mental law, is not blind belief, but a clear image sustained with conviction. In upcoming chapters, we will explore practical methods to imprint that image in your subconscious. But for now, pause to consider this central truth. Your body is the visible theater of a play written in the invisible mind. If you want to change the play, do not destroy the stage, change the script. Every bodily change begins with a new idea. That idea, nourished by emotion, cultivated by repetition, and guided by love, produces a result called healing. Now ask yourself, what ideas have you been planting in the silent garden of your mind? Are you sowing disease with your words, fears, memories, and judgments? Or are you sowing health, renewal, youth, and harmony? Remember, the subconscious does not judge, analyze, or debate. It simply obeys, and you are the only authorized sower. In the next chapter, you will learn how to turn that mental seed into a cellular army at your service. But do not advance without absorbing this first truth. Your mind is the original medicine. Chapter 2. Reprogramming your immune system. The human body is a community of billions of cells working tirelessly in perfect cooperation, obeying orders from a single command source, your subconscious mind. There is not a single inch of your body that is not influenced, sustained, and directed by this deep mind that dwells within you. When the mind is in disorder, the body manifests confusion, dysfunction, and disease. But when the mind is aligned with the principle of order, harmony, and health, the entire immune system becomes an invincible army that protects, repairs, and regenerates. This is not a poetic statement. It is an observable, demonstrable, and repeatable law. Biologists can teach you the structure of a white blood cell. An immunologist can describe the function of a cell. A doctor can explain the role of macrophages or NK cells in the immune response. But all this is external, objective knowledge. I'm here to teach you something infinitely more powerful: how to speak to these cells, how to instruct them, how to become their supreme commander through the power of focused mental intention. Does it sound fantastic? It is, but it is real, and even more, it is natural. When you visualize, you are giving orders. When you repeat an affirmation with conviction, you are programming. And when you combine image, word, and emotion in a sustained act of faith, you are creating a new biological reality from within. This is exactly what we will do in this chapter. Reprogram your immune system from your subconscious mind so that it functions with the precision, strength, and divine wisdom it was originally designed for. Let's begin with a fundamental metaphor. Imagine your immune system as an army of light. Each white blood cell is a trained soldier. Each T cell is a captain with specific orders. Each natural killer cell is an elite combat unit designed to identify and eliminate threats with surgical precision. Macrophages are like cleanup teams, collecting debris and preparing the terrain for reconstruction. This image is not symbolic. Your subconscious thinks in images, not words. That is why visualizations are so effective. They speak to your subconscious in its own language. Now, if you want to strengthen your immune system, you first need to imagine it as perfect. Any thought that weakens it, fear of illness, doubt about your resilience, worry about contagions, must be eliminated. This is not about denying external reality, but about affirming your internal power. While the world speaks of viruses, you will speak of immunity. While others think of infection, you will think of active defense. While many repeat, "I might get sick," you will affirm, "My immune system is the fortress of God in my body." One of the most powerful techniques you can practice is directed visualization. Close your eyes and breathe in and out once or 3 times. Then visualize your bone marrow generating white blood cells as if they were tiny spheres of white light. See these spheres multiply, enter the bloodstream, and begin traveling through your body. Where they find viruses, they neutralize them. Where they find inflammation, they calm it. Where they find degenerated cells, they replace them with healthy ones. Repeat this visualization for 20 minutes each night before sleep. During slumber, your subconscious will work without interference. You can also use specific images for each type of immune cell. White blood cells. Imagine them as soldiers with shields of white light that absorb and neutralize toxins. T cells. Picture them as precision archers identifying specific invaders and eliminating them without harming healthy tissue. Natural killer cells. Visualize them as special forces penetrating deep into tissues to destroy cancer cells. Macrophages. See them as cleanup squads, sucking up debris and preparing the ground for cellular regeneration. In addition to visualizing, you must speak to them. Cells respond to the vibration of your inner voice. That is why I propose affirmations you can repeat with concentration and emotion. Every cell in my body works for my perfect health. My immune system is strong, wise, and efficient. I am protected by the infinite intelligence that created me. My cells know exactly what to do, and they do it now. Thank you, Father, because your life energy flows through me as health and vitality. Repeat these affirmations every morning upon waking and every night before sleep. Repetition is the chisel that sculpts the desired image into the marble of your subconscious mind. During seasonal changes, when the body is more exposed to temperature shifts, humidity, or pathogens, double your practice. Do not do it out of fear, but out of wise preparation. Just as a farmer prepares the soil before the rain, you must prepare your mind before the environment changes. If you know winter is coming, program your immunity. If you know you will be in crowds, activate your inner shield. An additional highly effective tool is golden light visualization. Imagine a golden light descending from above, entering through the crown of your head. This light moves through your entire body, purifying every cell, restoring tissues, revitalizing organs. Where there is infection, the light shines brighter. Where there is weakness, the light concentrates. This practice has no contraindications and can be done at any time of day. Gold, a symbol of perfection, resonates specifically with health. Your subconscious understands this image as an order for restoration. Complement your mental work with conscious breathing. Inhale for a count of 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and hold your lungs empty for 4. This pattern, called square breathing, oxygenates your system, calms your nervous system, and prepares your mind for subconscious programming. Do it 3 times before your affirmations or visualizations, and you will notice a deeper effect. Finally, I recommend keeping an immune monitoring journal. Every day, note how you feel, what you practiced, and what changes you observe. You do not need to measure results immediately. Remember, the subconscious works silently like a seed germinating underground. If you remain consistent, you will see the fruits emerge. In summary, you can turn your immune system into your most loyal ally. You do not need to be a doctor to heal yourself, but you must become a mental engineer of your own body. Cells obey the mind that directs them, and you are that mind. Always remember this truth. Your word is law for your body. Your visualization is its map. Your emotion is its fuel. In the next chapter, you will learn how to use the most powerful tool of all, specific healing visualization for organs and systems. Prepare to enter the inner temple where healing begins. Chapter 3. The Art of Healing Visualization. Every idea that takes root clearly in the subconscious mind becomes form, function, and tangible phenomenon. This is the basic law of creative thought. But there is a form of thinking that surpasses all others in its power and effectiveness: visualization. The subconscious does not reason with abstract words. It understands through symbols, images, and scenes. When you visualize, you are planting directly in the fertile field of your inner being, and that seed, if cultivated with faith, germinates into health, vigor, and complete regeneration. Many men and women pray with words but maintain in their imagination images of deterioration, illness, or impotence. Which of the two do you think will prevail? The image always. Because the image is complete, charged with emotion, and it is this emotional charge that makes the subconscious act. That is why I tell you, if you want to heal, it is not enough to repeat that you are healthy. You must see yourself healthy, feel yourself healthy, and project in your mind the movie of perfect health. Your body is like a cinema screen. Whatever you project from the booth of your mind will appear on the stage of your flesh. The difference between imagining and visualizing lies in the level of control and direction you exert. Passive imagination is a loose stream of thoughts that comes and goes. Directed visualization is a sustained, detailed image, accompanied by emotion, repeated until it becomes a subconscious command. It is the difference between reading a novel and sculpting a statue. One is random, the other deliberate. There are specific techniques I want to share so that you not only understand visualization conceptually, but master it as a healing practice. 1. The inner physician technique. Close your eyes, relax deeply, and visualize a wise, loving healer within you, dressed in white light. This physician needs no scalpel or drugs. Place your hands on the affected area and emit a vibration of harmony that penetrates tissues, repairs organs, and eliminates anomalies. This physician is your higher self. As you see this scene internally, affirm, "I am health." The inner physician acts now. 2. Healing light visualization. Imagine a golden light descending from above, entering your head and slowly moving through every organ, every gland, every cell. This light dissolves congestion, purifies blood, and restructures tissues. When it reaches the area you wish to heal, pause the visualization there. Intensify the glow. Observe the light entering each cell and feel them vibrating with new energy. Affirm, "This light is divine intelligence. I am restored in this moment." Maintain this image for at least 15 minutes. 3. Conscious cellular regeneration. Here you do not visualize a light or external figure, but the biological process in its purest form. Imagine the diseased cells as gray, motionless spots. Then envision new cells emerging, bright, round, pulsating. These cells begin to multiply, and for each diseased cell, 10 healthy ones appear. Visualize the healthy cells gently displacing the sick ones until all tissue is renewed. Affirm, "My cells obey the divine pattern. Health multiplies within me." If you are not naturally visual, do not worry. Adapt visualization to your dominant sensory mode. If you are auditory, add sounds. Hear your heartbeat in harmony, or the inner physician's voice whispering words of healing. If you are kinesthetic, feel the warmth of the golden light, the gentle pulse of regenerating cells, the lightness of your healed body. The key is not to see perfect images, but to feel that you are there, actively participating in the process. To maintain focus during long visualizations, use a linking technique. Each time you get distracted, repeat the key phrase, "My mind directs, my body obeys." This phrase reconnects your attention and prevents dispersion. You can also use the mental movie technique. Imagine yourself in a cinema, and on the screen, see your body functioning perfectly. Watch yourself walking, breathing, sleeping, working, laughing, all in complete health. Replay this mental movie daily, multiple times if possible. There are specific visualizations for different bodily systems. Cardiovascular system. Visualize your heart as a red light pump, propelling clean blood to every corner of your body. Visualize arteries as clear tubes through which life flows. Respiratory system. Imagine your lungs as two wings opening and closing gently, absorbing golden oxygen and expelling waste. Digestive system. Visualize your intestines as a crystal-clear river where nutrients are efficiently absorbed and toxins effortlessly eliminated. Nervous system. Observe your spinal cord as a column of white light and your nerves as electric cables transmitting information without interference. Endocrine system. Visualize glands as spheres of light secreting harmony, the pineal as an inner star, the thyroid as a luminous neck, the adrenals as torches of energy. You can also practice microscopic cellular repair. Enter your body mentally as if you were the size of a cell. Walk through the bloodstream. Stop at the affected organ. Observe the cells one by one. If any are damaged, take a brush of light and repair them. If tissues are torn, stitch them with threads of energy. Though symbolic, this exercise has real effects because you are giving your subconscious a specific command. Repair this. The healing light bath is another general application technique. Imagine standing under a shower, but instead of water, a rain of golden light falls. Each drop penetrates your skin, cleanses your blood, and restructures your system. Simply remain under this luminous rain for a few minutes. When finished, affirm, "I am cleansed, restored, and full of life." For specific conditions, you can create your own visualizations. If you have a skin issue, visualize the dermal layers regenerating as if a new film covers your body. For vision problems, imagine your eyes as cameras adjusting, focusing, and revealing vivid colors. For joint issues, visualize cartilage regenerating layer by layer. Personalization increases effectiveness because the subconscious responds more strongly when the image is relevant to your case. Remember, the key to all healing visualization is repetition with emotion. An image repeated without emotion is a shadow without substance. An image charged with desire, conviction, and gratitude has the power to move cellular mountains. That is why I tell you, do not visualize as one plays. Visualize as one builds. In the next chapter, we will explore another essential tool, the spoken word with authority, meaning affirmations that heal. But before moving forward, commit to yourself. Choose one visualization technique and practice it for the next 7 days without interruption. For the law is clear, do not be deceived, God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows. Galatians 6:7. If you sow images of health, you will reap regeneration. Chapter 4. Healing Affirmations, the Power of the Word. Every cell in your body listens to what you say. Every organ, every system, every molecule responds to the commands issued by your mind and reinforced by your words. This is not a spiritual metaphor. It is a biological and energetic reality. Your words are frequencies, patterns of vibration that pass through the mental tissue and imprint on the living substance of your being. That is why I tell you without hesitation, you can heal by speaking. You can restore physiological functions through the correct, directed, and persistent use of affirmations charged with intention. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. John 1:1. This biblical statement is not an abstract theological illusion. It is a universal truth about the creative power of the Word. Your word, spoken with inner authority, is a decree to your subconscious. And your subconscious is the tireless worker that, without judgment or analysis, turns each instruction into a tangible fact, an organic function, a physiological manifestation. However, not every word has healing power, only those that meet certain mental and structural conditions. First, the affirmation must be formulated in the present tense. Your subconscious does not operate in the past or the future. Its domain is the eternal now. Do not say, "I will be healthy," because that image projects forward and never fully incarnates. Say, "I am healthy now." This immediately activates internal processes of adjustment and regeneration. Second, the affirmation must be positive, clear, and affirmative. The subconscious does not understand negations. If you say, "I don't want to be sick," the dominant image remains illness. If you say, "My body is free from pain," you are still focusing on pain. But if you affirm, I feel lightness, vitality, and well-being throughout my body. You are directly planting the image of a healthy state. Third, the affirmation must be charged with genuine emotion. Do not repeat it like a parrot. Repeat it like a priest performing a sacrament. Imagine a chemist preparing a formula. If an essential substance is missing, the effect will not occur. In mental alchemy, that indispensable substance is emotion. Without it, the affirmation is merely a sound. With it, it becomes a seed of transformation. And what does science say? Modern neuroscience has shown that the repetition of thoughts and words activates specific neural networks that over time consolidate into new physiological pathways. Words you speak strengthen or weaken synaptic connections. Recent studies in epigenetics have demonstrated that certain genes can be activated or deactivated depending on your emotional, mental, and verbal state. This means your words can literally awaken dormant healing genes and inhibit destructive genetic expressions. It is not fantasy. It is a biological law that responds to your mind. Now, I want to give you a set of specific affirmations organized by body system. Each has been formulated so your subconscious accepts it without resistance. Do not try to memorize them all at first. Choose those that align with your current need and repeat them consistently morning and night, as if taking an exact dose of internal medicine. Affirmations for the cardiovascular system. My heart beats with strength, rhythm, and perfect harmony. Each beat carries life, energy, and peace to every part of my body. My arteries are open, flexible, and free of obstruction. Affirmations for the digestive system. My digestion is calm, efficient, and harmonious. Every food I ingest becomes health and energy. My stomach and intestines work in perfect coordination. Affirmations for the nervous system. My mind is at peace and my body responds with balance. Every nerve cell transmits messages of health and serenity. I am calm, centered, and confident at all times. Affirmations for the immune system. My body is protected by wise and powerful intelligence. My immune system detects and eliminates every threat with precision. I am resilient, strong, and healthy in every cell. Affirmations for general regeneration. Every cell in my body obeys the divine pattern of perfect health. Vital energy flows unobstructed and renews my entire being. I'm in a constant process of healing day and night. To increase the power of these affirmations, combine them with breathing. This is the affirmation with breathing technique. Inhale slowly while mentally preparing the affirmation. Hold the air as you pronounce it internally. Exhale with conviction, visualizing it spreading throughout your body. This rhythm imprints the phrase deep into your nervous system. You can also write your affirmations by hand in a special journal. This is the healing writing method. The physical act of writing reinforces the mental imprint. Every letter you trace becomes an instruction engraved not only on paper, but within your inner structure. Another effective exercise is the mirror affirmation. Look yourself in the eyes, affirm with a firm voice, and maintain eye contact. At first it may feel awkward, but soon you will notice the reflection beginning to transform, respond, and fill with conviction. Your image is the intermediary between your word and your body. Some affirmations may initially feel exaggerated, unrealistic, or even false. This is normal when your current physical condition seems to contradict them, but remember, you are not affirming what you see. You are affirming what you want to see. You are not describing, you are decreeing. And when the decree is sustained with faith, it eventually shapes reality. If mental resistance persists, use the rotation technique. Instead of repeating only one affirmation, choose 3 or 4 that revolve around the same theme, but with different focuses. This prevents automation, maintains mental engagement, and keeps your mind receptive. In summary, the word is your most accessible, economical, and powerful tool. You can use it at any time without devices, medications, or permissions. All you need is awareness, precision, and persistence. Your words form the invisible architecture of your body. Each phrase is a brick. Each affirmation is a construction order for your cells. In the next chapter, you will learn something even deeper: how to establish a direct dialogue with your cells, how to speak with your organs, and how to transform your body into a conscious temple through the art of internal communication. But before moving forward, commit to an affirmation that summarizes this power. Write it, repeat it, and believe in it as one holds a torch in the darkness. My words are seeds of health. My tongue builds my well-being. I speak and my body responds. Chapter 5. Communicating with your cells. Your body is not a cold, fragmented, unconscious machine. It is an intelligent, dynamic organism composed of billions of living units that listen, respond, and act according to the mental signals you emit. Each cell possesses a form of consciousness. This statement, far from being esoteric or idealistic, is supported by recent studies in cellular biology, epigenetics, and neuroimmunology. Cells have memory, retain emotional information, and reorganize themselves based on the mental content they receive from you, their invisible commander. You can no longer believe that your cells act randomly, or that your organs are isolated from your thoughts. Your entire body is an extension of your mind, and what you think, believe, and say is interpreted by every cell as an instruction. Even in silence, you are giving orders. The problem is that most people give these orders unconsciously. They complain about pain, curse their symptoms, obsess over illness, and in doing so, reinforce the anomaly. But if you reverse the process, if you begin speaking to your cells as if speaking to intelligent beings, you will see your body respond with fidelity and precision. The scientific basis for this lies in cellular memory, a well-documented phenomenon observed in organ transplant cases where recipients inherit tastes, memories, or emotions from the donor. It is also found in studies showing that certain cellular proteins remember previous exposures to substances, even if the biochemical environment has changed. Cells store information and, more importantly, update it according to the mental stimulus they receive. Now, I want to teach you how to initiate conscious cellular conversation. This process requires 3 conditions: deep relaxation, clear intention, and effective language. You cannot speak to your cells as if giving military orders. You must communicate as one does with a wise and sensitive collaborator. Begin by choosing an organ or area of your body that needs healing. Close your eyes, breathe slowly, and bring your attention to that area. Imagine that each cell there has a face, a voice, a presence. Then speak to them mentally. Dear cells, I know you are working for my well-being. I thank you for your effort. I now invite you to restore perfect order in this area. I know you can regenerate, align with the divine pattern of health. I support you. I trust you. Remain silent after speaking. Listen. The response may not always be verbal, but can manifest as a sensation, warmth, an image, or even a sudden change in your perception of the body. This is your system's feedback. Learning to interpret these signals is part of the art. Do not rush to seek immediate results. Cultivate the relationship. It is like learning a new language with your body. Another advanced technique is the body council. Imagine calling a meeting of representatives from your systems: the heart, lungs, liver, immune system, nervous system. Visualize them sitting around a circular table like a cabinet of ministers. Take the role of moderator and ask a question. What does my body need to heal completely? Watch who speaks. Listen to what they say. Respond with respect. Practiced regularly, this exercise strengthens mind-body connection and awakens surprising intuitions about your habits, nutrition, and suppressed emotions. Some may think this is pure imagination, but I tell you, what you imagine with conviction is recorded in your subconscious, and what the subconscious records, the body executes. The images do not need to be literal. They are symbols that activate internal processes. Just as a button on a digital screen has no gears, but activates a real function, your mental image activates cellular processes. It is a biological communication interface. To facilitate this connection, I recommend the inner journey meditation. Sit in a quiet place. Close your eyes. Visualize entering your body through the crown of your head as if you were a spark of light. Descend through your throat, enter your chest, arrive at the organ you wish to explore. Observe the surroundings. Speak to the tissues. Feel yourself part of that inner world. This mental journey reinforces the sense of unity between mind and matter. You can also write a letter to your cells. This exercise is highly therapeutic. Take paper and pencil and write by hand a letter addressed to the chosen organ. Be honest, affectionate, and grateful. For example, Dear liver, I know you have worked tirelessly even when I have overburdened you with emotions and unnecessary substances. Today, I want to ask your forgiveness. I want to give you rest. I am willing to help you. I love you. I bless you. I release you from every burden. Thank you for your intelligence and your power to regenerate. This symbolic act is profoundly real for your subconscious. It does not matter if you do not understand it rationally. What matters is that your emotional mind assimilates it as true. You can also practice active body listening. Lie down in silence. Mentally scan your body from feet to head. In each area, ask yourself, what do I feel here? Do not seek explanations. Simply allow the sensation to arise. Then dialogue with that sensation. Thank it for its message. Tell it you are willing to collaborate. The body speaks in whispers. If you do not listen, it shouts in the form of symptoms. If you listen in time, it becomes your most faithful ally. For complex cases, you can convene an internal healing council. Visualize a room where all your main organs are gathered, each with shape, color, and personality. Ask them how they feel. Request suggestions. Listen without judgment. This technique is highly revealing. People who practice it regularly discover direct relationships between their physical state and past emotional events, unconscious habits, or repetitive mental patterns. Keep a cellular communication journal. Record each day the messages you send and the responses you perceive. Note sensations, changes, and intuitions. This journal will be your logbook of conscious healing. It will allow you to discover patterns, adjust your internal language, and consolidate an alliance with your body's intelligence. Never forget this truth. Your body is not against you. Your body is waiting for your instructions. Mental silence, self-disdain, and constant criticism create confusion in your cells. But a mind that speaks with affection, clarity, and faith is a mind that organizes health. The next chapter will address a fundamental aspect, emotional healing, because many diseases are simply repressed emotions that have become embodied in tissues. But before continuing, write down this affirmation and repeat it daily as a password to access your biological wisdom. I speak with love to every cell of my body. They listen, respond, and heal. Chapter 6. Emotional Healing, Releasing Energy Blockages. It is essential that you understand from the start that you cannot achieve full health while storing unresolved emotions in the silent reservoirs of your body. Each repressed emotion is like an electric current that has been diverted, interrupted, encapsulated. What is not expressed in words is expressed through symptoms. Your body is a faithful mirror of your emotional landscape, and many of the illnesses that afflict it are cries for help from a psyche overloaded with memories, guilt and resentment that have been silenced for years. Numerous studies in psychoneuroimmunology have shown that emotions such as chronic fear, suppressed anger, or deep sadness directly affect the immune system, alter brain chemistry, and even modify cellular structure. Toxic emotions generate bursts of cortisol, adrenaline, and other substances that deteriorate tissues, interrupt regenerative processes, and lower the body's natural defenses. These are not philosophical ideas. They are biochemical facts. Just as light nourishes a plant, love nourishes the cells, and just as smoke pollutes the air, hatred contaminates the blood. The body has memory, not only physical memory, but emotional memory. Certain organs store specific emotions. The liver often holds repressed anger, the heart unexpressed grief, the lungs deep sadness, the kidneys ancestral fear, the throat unspoken words. This correlation is not random. It is the result of centuries of clinical observation and of energetic principles that have also been systematized by Eastern medicine and corroborated by modern somatic psychology. Therefore, to truly heal, it is not enough to treat the diseased organ. You must release the emotion that sickens it. The first step in this release is emotional self-assessment. Sit in silence, close your eyes, and direct your attention inward. Mentally scan your body from feet to head. Pause in areas where you feel tension, discomfort, or emptiness. Ask yourself, what emotion is stored here? When did I first feel this? What memory is activated when I focus on this area? Do not force an answer with reason. Allow the image, memory, or sensation to emerge freely. You are accessing the subconscious file where the emotion was encapsulated. Once the emotion is identified, it is time to apply the guided emotional release technique. Visualize the emotion as a dark cloud concentrated in the affected area. Then imagine inhaling a purifying light, white, golden, or any color that inspires confidence, and see that light penetrate the area, slowly dissolving the cloud. With each exhalation, release part of that burden. As you do this, repeat internally. I acknowledge this emotion, I accept it, I release it, and I allow health to flow freely. This process must be repeated consistently, especially if the emotion is old or dense. One session is not enough. Just as a wound is cleaned every day to heal, emotional wounds are cleared persistently until the vital flow is fully restored. There is also a deeper, symbolically powerful technique: cellular forgiveness. This method recognizes that many diseases are merely resentments crystallized in living tissue. Forgiveness is not an ethical or religious act. It is vibrational medicine. When you forgive, you release trapped energy. You do not forgive to justify the harm received. You forgive to stop being a victim of that harm. This act has an immediate echo in your body. Place your hands over the affected area and say slowly, "Cells of my body, I release you from the weight of the past. Forgive me for having stored hatred, fear, or pain. Today, I choose to let go. Today, I choose to heal. Today, I choose to love." Do this once per day. Do not expect to feel something immediately, but over time, you will notice something inside you begins to shift. Pain eases, energy returns, and the flow of well-being resumes. Another tool is emotional body mapping. Take a drawing of the human body and use colors to identify where each emotion resides. Use red for anger, blue for sadness, black for fear, green for calm, yellow for joy, or any tones you prefer. Then observe the map. Which areas are saturated, which are empty. This visual exercise externalizes your emotional field and makes it readable. It becomes your healing map. You can also practice energetic cleansing meditation. Sit comfortably. Imagine a stream of crystal clear water descending from your crown and flowing through your body, carrying away emotional residue. Visualize this flow penetrating your organs, cleansing and purifying them. Accompany the image with the phrase, "Every dense emotion dissolves in the light. My body is free. My soul is light." Repeating this exercise upon waking and before sleep has a cumulative effect in reprogramming your subconscious emotional state. Finally, apply emotional rewriting. Take a traumatic past episode and, in a state of deep relaxation, visualize it again, but this time, change the ending. Replace the destructive emotion with a constructive one. Change rejection into acceptance, powerlessness into strength. This process does not deny what happened, but it offers your subconscious a new emotional version of the event. Your body, responding to the most recent emotion, begins to release the physical consequences of the trauma. Every emotion you release is energy being recycled. Every forgiveness you give is a channel opening. Every thought you transform is a medicine you produce internally. You are not enslaved to your past. You are not condemned by your emotional history. You are the scribe and healer of your inner biography. As a summary, adopt this affirmation as your guide. Emotions are energy. I release those that make me sick. I cultivate those that heal me. In the next chapter, you will learn how nighttime sleep can become your inner hospital, your most powerful regenerative laboratory. But before closing, commit to your emotional healing. Do not postpone it. Do not delegate it. It is yours and it is waiting for you. Chapter 7. The healing power of sleep. While you sleep, you are not inactive, disconnected, or absent. While you sleep, your subconscious mind takes full control of your bodily functions, without interference from the critical mind, without sensory distractions, without the tyranny of rational thought. It is during these closed hours that tissues regenerate, cells reproduce, toxins are eliminated, and wounds, both visible and invisible, begin their deep repair. Sleep is not a shutdown. It is an active process of restoration directed by a silent intelligence that responds to the images, words, and intentions you provide just before surrendering to rest. Understand this with complete clarity. The most powerful moment to reprogram your health is just before falling asleep. In those minutes when the body relaxes and consciousness fades, the subconscious is most receptive, most pliable, most open to recording a new idea. It is fertile ground where the seeds of your affirmations will bear fruit during the night. If in that moment you introduce an image of perfect health, a regeneration affirmation, an intention of love toward your body, you are activating healing forces that will operate while you rest. Science confirms this ancient truth. During deep sleep, stage N3, the body secretes growth hormone, essential for cellular regeneration. The immune system reorganizes. The nervous system eliminates waste. The brain consolidates memories and reorganizes neural networks. But none of this occurs efficiently if you go to bed with worry, fear, or emotional agitation, because the last thing you think, the last thing you feel, is what the subconscious takes as its program for the night. This is why you need to learn the pre-sleep programming technique, which is done in 3 steps. Choose a precise healing affirmation, formulated in the present tense, specific, and emotionally positive. For example, every cell in my body regenerates in perfect harmony as I sleep. Accompany the affirmation with a mental image. Visualize golden light enveloping the affected area, or imagine a movie in which you are already healthy, vital, and full of energy. Repeat the affirmation mentally as you drift into sleep, like a spiritual lullaby. You don't need to repeat it 1,000 times. It only needs to be the last thing recorded before sleep. The rest will be done by your subconscious. Another key tool is guided sleep visualization. Before sleeping, decide clearly what you wish to heal. Then visualize yourself entering your body as a conscious light, traveling through your organs to the affected area. Imagine that area beginning to repair itself. Cells multiply, tissues close, systems balance. Do this not with anxiety, but with gratitude, as one who observes a work already completed. This visualization can last just 5 minutes. The important thing is not duration, but the emotional conviction with which it is performed. The pre-sleep energy bath is a highly effective ritual for clearing the mind before surrendering to rest. Imagine for 1 minute a cascade of pure light descending from the top of your head and washing over your entire body, dissolving tension, fears, and negative thoughts. This symbolic act has a real effect on the autonomic nervous system. It induces parasympathetic relaxation, lowers heart rate, and prepares the body for a night of deep healing. Accompany it with this affirmation. My body is cleansed, my mind is calm, healing is activated. Do not overlook the nocturnal body gratitude exercise. This involves thanking each organ for its silent work during the day. Before sleep, in the darkness of your room, silently say, "Thank you, heart, for beating without rest. Thank you, lungs, for each breath. Thank you, stomach, for transforming food. Thank you, immune system, for protecting me. Thank you, mind, for thinking. Thank you, body, for supporting my soul." This simple act transforms your relationship with your biology. You do not go to bed as a sick person hoping for help. You go to bed as an ally in the healing process. This emotional state of gratitude is one of the subconscious's most powerful catalysts. Healing dreams also exist. Dream experiences in which you receive information, guidance, symbols, or instructions for your recovery. Sometimes you dream of a doctor, an operation, a light, a voice. Other times you dream of the emotional origin of your illness. These images are not meaningless fantasies. They are messages from your inner wisdom. Learn to interpret them without superstition, but with openness. Keep a healing dream journal. Record everything you remember upon waking. Observe repetitions, emotions, intuitions. These dreams are part of the spiritual treatment your soul offers while your body sleeps. There is also the technique of healing incubation. Before sleep, formulate a clear and specific question. What do I need to know to heal my body? Write it on a piece of paper, read it several times, and repeat mentally your desire to receive. Then sleep. You may not get an immediate answer, but if you repeat this process faithfully over several nights, your subconscious will begin to respond. Answers may come as dreams, ideas upon waking, or sudden intuitions. The final component of this chapter is the protocol for waking with renewed energy. Upon opening your eyes, do not jump out of bed abruptly. Stay for a few moments in silence. Breathe deeply. Scan your body and notice how you feel. Then repeat this affirmation. Infinite intelligence has worked in me during the night. My body is healthier, my mind clearer. Today is a day of continuous healing. This morning recognition reinforces the subconscious work done during sleep. It is like reviewing a completed work and blessing it before it fully manifests. Sleep is not a pause in life. It is the invisible workshop where your soul polishes the body's machinery. Sleeping with intention is praying without words. Sleeping with programming is healing effortlessly, and you can turn every night into a sanctuary of regeneration if you apply these principles. Ingrain this phrase in your memory as the essence of this chapter. While I sleep, God works within me. I dream my healing, and my subconscious carries it out. Chapter 8. Mental Nutrition Feeding Your Healing. It is possible to eat a nutritious food and still become ill if you consume it with fear, guilt, or tension. Likewise, it is possible to gain partial benefit even from an objectively inferior food if you eat it with gratitude, joy, and healing conviction. I'm not saying that objective nutritional principles should be ignored, but those principles are always filtered, amplified, or blocked by the mind that interprets them. It is thought that transforms food into medicine or toxin, and with every meal you are sending an order to your body: assimilate and heal, or reject and suffer. What you digest first is your attitude. Everything you ingest passes first through the laboratory of consciousness. If you place food on the table and your first reaction is anxiety about its calories, industrial origin, or supposed toxicity, you are poisoning that food with your thought. You are literally altering the bioenergetic field of that substance and preconditioning your digestive system to process it with stress, distrust, and defensiveness. What is the result? Difficult digestion, inflammation, fatigue, and even food intolerances, which in many cases are misdiagnosed psychic intolerances. Your body responds to the emotional signal accompanying every act of eating. This truth has been confirmed by the psychoneurology of digestion. The enteric system, which governs the digestive tract, contains over 100 million neurons, enough to function as a second brain. This system is directly connected to the limbic system, which regulates emotions. Thus, when you eat in fear, anger, or guilt, your digestion is altered. In contrast, when you eat in peace, with attention, and with love, the body interprets that signal as permission to assimilate, regenerate, and strengthen. This is why you should practice the energetic blessing of food. Before each meal, take a brief pause. Place your hands a few centimeters above the plate and say internally, "I bless this food. I charge it with health, peace, and vital energy. My body receives its power and transforms it into well-being." You do not need to make this a religious ritual. It is a scientific act, a conscious transmission of intention that reorganizes the food's vibratory field and synchronizes your digestive system to receive it as medicine. You should also train in mindful eating, which is the art of eating with all your senses and full presence. Observe the texture, color, aroma, and temperature. Chew slowly, savor the taste, and give thanks for every bite. Doing so optimally activates digestive processes. Salivation increases, enzyme secretion regulates, nutrients absorb more efficiently. This is not a trend. It is an ancient technique that science is just beginning to validate. Another powerful tool is the nutritional gratitude exercise. At the end of each meal, close your eyes for a few seconds and repeat, "Thank you, food, for your energy. Thank you, body, for your digestive intelligence. I am satisfied, I am nourished, I am healing." This simple act not only improves your emotional relationship with food, but reinforces the psychophysiological circuit of conscious assimilation. Remember, your mind is the primary filter of your nutrition. If that filter is filled with fear, no food, no matter how natural, can perform its full work. Certain foods, due to their symbolic and vibratory composition, can be programmed directly. The most notable example is water. As Masaru Emoto's research demonstrated, water changes its molecular structure according to the words, sounds, and emotions it receives. Practice the water programming ritual for healing hydration. Take your glass of water, gaze at it and say, "This water is medicine. This water carries light to every cell. This water purifies and regenerates me." Then drink it slowly, knowing you are ingesting not just H2O but vibrations of health activated by your mind. Add to this the perfect metabolism meditation. Before sleeping or upon waking, visualize your body as a laboratory of perfect precision. Imagine each digestive organ, stomach, intestines, liver, pancreas, functioning in harmony, extracting the best from every food and efficiently eliminating what is not needed. Repeat mentally, "My metabolism is perfect. Everything I eat nourishes me. My body knows exactly what to do with every substance." This affirmation is not a placebo. It is a direct instruction to the subconscious to recalibrate digestive and metabolic function. Finally, I introduce a subtle yet powerful concept: mental fasting. This is not about abstaining from physical food, but refraining for a time from toxic thoughts related to eating. Obsession with calories, guilt over what you've eaten, criticism of your body, fear of gaining weight, anxiety over diet control. These are the true toxins. Once a week, decide to practice a mental fast. No negative thoughts about your body or food, only thoughts of acceptance, gratitude, and harmony. You will notice this simple act transforms not only your digestion, but your entire relationship with your bodily identity. Your relationship with food reflects your relationship with yourself. If you eat with guilt, you poison yourself. If you eat with love, you offer yourself medicine. It is not what you eat, but how you interpret, bless, and receive it. In this chapter, I'm not teaching you to eat better. I'm teaching you to think better while eating, because your mind is the true mouth through which all is digested. Close this chapter with a powerful affirmation, a definitive reprogramming of your internal nutrition. Every food I receive becomes health because my mind transforms it into medicine. Chapter 9. Distant Healing, Sending Curative Energy. The science of the soul teaches that we are all interconnected, not as a spiritual metaphor, but as a vibrational reality. Every human being is a cell within the collective body of humanity. What you think and feel affects the planet's energetic field. This principle is based on the law of non-locality, verified in quantum physics. Two particles can influence each other instantly, regardless of the distance between them. The same principle applies to the human mind. When you think intensely of someone, you create an invisible bridge, a vibrational channel through which information, emotion, and yes, curative energy can flow. That is why you can help heal others without touching, seeing, or speaking to them. The vehicle is loving intention, sustained and directed by focused thought. But not just any thought will do. It must be charged with faith, certainty, and conviction, formulated correctly so as not to interfere with the other person's freedom, or be contaminated by your own fears or desire for control. It is essential, therefore, to learn the principles and techniques of distant healing and to practice them with humility, reverence, and responsibility. The most basic yet powerful technique is sending golden light. Visualize the person you wish to help surrounded by a sphere of golden light, representing divine intelligence at work within their body. Do not visualize the problem. Do not reinforce the image of illness. Visualize the desired outcome: health, peace, energy. Feel this light penetrating every cell of their body, illuminating their face, strengthening their breath. While holding this image, repeat mentally, "The infinite intelligence within you is healing you right now. You are health, you are harmony, you are vital force." Then release the image and surrender the outcome to higher wisdom. Another highly effective technique is heart-to-heart connection. Here you do not work with visual images, but with the pure feeling of love. Close your eyes, bring your attention to the center of your chest, and imagine a thread of light extending to the heart of the person you wish to help. Do not speak. Do not visualize anything complex. Simply feel both hearts beating in unison. Remain in silence for a few minutes. This simple act creates emotional resonance that can produce immediate effects in the other person's energy field. Do not underestimate its power. Love is the most healing substance in the universe and requires no scientific justification. For more complex cases, or to amplify the effect, you can organize a mental healing circle, a group of people meeting in person or virtually to send curative energy to an individual or situation. Each participant connects to a common image, for example, a beam of light descending on the person or a blue flame consuming all disease. Then a shared affirmation is repeated. Divine health manifests now in the name of. Group healing has shown efficacy, even in clinical settings, as evidenced by multiple studies on the effects of prayer on hospitalized patients. A highly concentrated resource is the photographic programming ritual. Take a photograph of the person you wish to help, ideally showing them healthy and smiling. Project healing affirmations onto the image. Place your hands over the photo, close your eyes and say, "The light of life flows through you. Your body responds with intelligence. All is well." Imagine the image filling with light. Keep the photo in a special place and repeat this process daily for at least 7 days. The subconscious responds intensely to visual symbols, and the photograph acts as an energetic anchor for mental work. You can also participate in a global healing network meditation. Visualize the entire planet surrounded by a luminous grid. Imagine millions of conscious souls sending thoughts of health, balance, and renewal to every corner of the world. You are one of those nodes. From your center, emit waves of peace. You may direct this meditation toward a specific region, a population affected by illness, or all of humanity. This work is not imaginary. Studies, such as those by the Institute of HeartMath, have shown that the global magnetic field responds to collective meditation. You are part of that field. However, all power implies responsibility. Know the ethical principles of distant healing. Never send energy without the explicit or implicit consent of the person. If direct communication is impossible, at least formulate mentally. If it is your will, receive this energy. If not, let it return to the universe multiplied as a blessing for someone who needs it. This act of respect protects both the other person and yourself, as intervening without permission is a form of psychic invasion, even if motivated by love. To protect yourself energetically, use the vibrational shield of pure intention. Before sending energy, affirm, I act as a channel of divine intelligence. Nothing of me transfers, only the light flows through me. I am protected. I am guided. Visualize a bubble of white light surrounding your body. This field keeps your energy clean, preventing absorption of the other person's emotional load. Remember, you are not the healer. You are the conscious witness of the healing that life performs through you. Love, prayer, intention, and visualization are forms of energy organized by the mind. They are spiritual tools, but also technological in the highest sense, because they operate within the natural laws of the universe, which we are only beginning to understand. Distant healing is not magic. It is applied mental science in the communion of souls. Close this chapter with this silent but vibrant affirmation. Wherever my loving thought goes, there goes the light. And where the light goes, healing manifests. Chapter 10, Extraordinary Cases, Healing Testimonials. Nothing convinces more than facts. You can recite theories about the mental law, repeat affirmations, and read about the power of visualization. But when you are presented with a documented case of a man rising from his deathbed, with no intervention other than his faith and directed imagination, something shifts within you. You are no longer faced with an abstract possibility. You are confronted with proof, and proof leaves no room for doubt. The mind, properly used, can alter matter, restore tissues, dissolve tumors, correct vital functions, and reverse conditions labeled irreversible by conventional medical thinking. Let us begin with the case of Mr. H. from Cleveland, Ohio. He was diagnosed with stage 4 lymphoma. Doctors gave him less than 6 months to live. However, this man, already familiar with subconscious mind principles, decided to start an intensive visualization regimen twice a day. He imagined himself walking on the beach, strong and healthy, laughing with his grandchildren. He visualized his white blood cells multiplying like an invincible army, surrounding and neutralizing every abnormal cell. For 20 minutes each morning and night, he immersed himself in this mental movie. Simultaneously, he listened to recorded affirmations repeating, "My body is a temple of life. Divine intelligence restores me now." 3 months later, his oncologist, astonished, found a total regression of the tumor. 5 years later, Mr. H remains alive, with medical evidence showing complete remission. What happened here? A deep reprogramming of the immune system through intensive management, reinforced by multisensory visualization. It was not passive prayer. It was sustained, precise action on the mental plane. This is the difference between vague hope and the scientific application of faith. Another impressive case is that of Mrs. T from Bogotá, Colombia, diagnosed with chronic rheumatoid arthritis. Unable to move without assistance, dependent on steroids to mitigate pain, she heard a simple affirmation during a radio consultation that seemed ridiculous, but was powerful. "My joints are flexible. My body moves with the grace of the Spirit." She decided to repeat it daily, accompanied by a visualization in which she danced with her husband, as she had in her youth. 6 weeks later, she reduced her medication. In 3 months, she walked without a cane. Within a year, she was dancing at weddings. The doctor could not explain the improvement and labeled it spontaneous remission. What he called spontaneity was, in fact, the result of a methodical practice in which every word and every image acted as energetic medicine on her body. The key in this case was the emotional component. Her affirmation was imbued with positive nostalgia. By evoking memories of her youth, she activated not only the conscious mind, but also a subconscious emotional charge that accelerated the physiological response. The subconscious responds more to feeling than to concept. Words without emotion are like dry seeds. They need emotional moisture to germinate. Now let us consider a case of neurological regeneration. Mr. P, an airline pilot from Dallas, suffered a stroke that left the right side of his body paralyzed. After initial medical treatments, he was told the damage was irreversible, but his daughter, a neuroscience student and avid reader of my books, convinced him to apply techniques of healing light baths and guided visualization. Twice a day he imagined walking through his hangar, inspecting planes, greeting colleagues. In his mind he repeated, "Each neuron reconnects, divine light restores my balance, my body responds with wisdom." After 8 weeks he began moving his fingers. In 4 months he could walk with support. In 9 months he returned to work as a flight instructor. This case illustrates neuroplasticity in action. But even more, it demonstrates the spiritual principle. What a man believes in his heart, so is he. Proverbs 23:7. Not what he repeats mechanically, but what he imagines with intensity and holds in his emotional heart. We also find cases of sensory healing. Miss R from Buenos Aires lost vision in one eye due to a degenerative condition. Surgery offered little chance of success. Instead, she began a program of specific affirmations such as, "I see clearly the beauty of life. Light penetrates me. My eyes are channels of divine perception." Each night she visualized golden light entering her damaged eye and repairing the internal cells. After 3 months, she began perceiving shapes. In 6 months, she recovered 70% of her vision. Doctors had no scientific explanation. She, however, knew her faith had created conditions for cellular repair. As it is written, "According to your faith, be it done to you." Matthew 9:29. In all these cases, common patterns emerge: disciplined and prolonged use of mental techniques, repetition of specific, not generic affirmations, emotional visualizations, not merely intellectual, absolute trust in the process, even without immediate evidence, surrender of the outcome to a higher power without anxiety or control. These are the ingredients of authentic mental healing. The difference between those who heal and those who do not is not in merit, but in the precision of practice and the intensity of conviction. Some recite affirmations but doubt in their hearts. Others visualize healing but cling to the diagnosis. Some pray, but mix their prayer with fear. This weakens the mental signal. The subconscious requires a clear message without ambiguity. It does not interpret words, it interprets vibrations. And if the vibration of your affirmation is contaminated by fear, it will not take effect. So, dear reader, take these cases not as isolated miracles, but as maps for the journey. Do not view them with awe, but with determination. What others have achieved, you can also achieve. The laws governing mental healing are impersonal, like gravity or electromagnetism. They do not respond to favor, only to correct application. End this chapter by saying to yourself within a voice, "Just as they healed, I too can heal because the intelligence that restored them lives in me, and I now invoke it with faith, with love, and with persistence." Chapter 11. Overcoming resistance and doubt. Many begin this path with enthusiasm, inspired by healing testimonies, or by a sudden intuition that the mind can do more than medicine has acknowledged until now. Yet along the journey, invisible, persistent obstacles arise. They are not external, they are not in the medical diagnosis or in the illness itself, but in the intimate architecture of the mind. Unexamined prejudices, doctrines embedded by repetition, family beliefs disguised as wisdom, and fears operating in the hidden corners of the soul. All of this constitutes programming, and this programming does not disappear through desire or willpower alone, but through instruction, repetition, and constant mental renewal. The first resistance is intellectual skepticism. Those trained under the mechanistic paradigm, which sees the body as a machine and the mind as a byproduct of chemical reactions, find the idea that thought can heal deeply offensive. Not because of a lack of evidence, but because accepting this premise would require questioning their entire belief system. To them I say, the true scientist is not one who clings to a fixed paradigm, but one who observes reality with humility and follows the results to their logical conclusion, even when they contradict existing dogmas. When confronted with documented cases of spontaneous remission, where cancers disappear without medical intervention, or when the same person exhibits different conditions under distinct personalities, as observed in studies of dissociative identity disorder, the honest thinker must ask, what invisible force modulates these physiological responses? The only coherent answer is the subconscious mind. But skepticism is not the hardest obstacle. Even more difficult is the fear of hope. Many have been hurt by treatments that did not work, prayers that went unanswered, promises that collapsed against harsh statistics. In such cases, a person develops an emotional aversion to the very act of expecting something better. They prefer resignation to risking another disappointment. This is understandable, yet deeply self-limiting, because the fear of disappointment blocks access to inner power. And without that power activated, no technique works. How can this barrier be overcome? First, by understanding that mental healing is not optimistic placebo nor denial of reality. It is a science of the soul with laws as precise as gravity. It is not about waiting for an external miracle, but activating an internal miracle, planting the right ideas in the fertile ground of the subconscious. And every seed requires time to germinate. The farmer does not dig up the soil the next day to see if the wheat has grown. He waters it, cares for it, and lets it do its invisible work. The third great obstacle is fatalistic medical programming. When a diagnosis is received, it is often internalized as a sentence. If the doctor says it is incurable, the mind records it as law. But no human authority has the final word over the creative forces of the subconscious. The doctor may be an instrument of God, but he is not God. His limits are not yours. Therefore, do not reject his help, but know that something more powerful exists. Reprogram your mind with declarations such as, "My body responds to a higher wisdom. What men do not know, the infinite intelligence within me already knows." Another silent barrier is subconscious resistance to change. This occurs when the illness has become part of the person's identity. Perhaps it has brought attention, compassion, or justification to avoid certain responsibilities. Unconsciously, the body clings to the symptom because it associates it with a secondary gain. There is no blame here, but there is a task. You must release the emotional benefit of being sick and replace it with the superior benefits of being healthy. Repeat with conviction. I enjoy being strong more than being cared for. I love my freedom more than my illness. Now, what to do when family or the environment is skeptical, even mocking? Here, apply the mental shield principle. Imagine yourself inside an impenetrable field of blue light. Every judgment, every ridicule, every pessimistic word bounces off and dissolves. Do not try to convince anyone. Your healing will be your argument. Be patient, silent, and persistent. As Scripture says, "By their fruits you will know them." Matthew 7:16. Also use the method of turning skepticism into scientific curiosity. Instead of fighting doubt, convert it into a motor of investigation. Say, "I'm not sure, but I will experiment with these techniques for 30 days with discipline and observe the results." Thus, the subconscious feels not pressure, but openness. Doubt transforms into exploration, and exploration into discovery. For those who feel internal sabotage, as if one part of them desires healing but another interferes, I recommend the ritual of commitment to healing. Write it down, speak it aloud, sign it. Declare before your higher self, "I choose to heal, I accept healing. I commit to living from my healing power. I release all forms of self-limitation. I am a perfect channel of divine restoration." Repeating this declaration daily with emotion initiates a deep process of mental deprogramming. Remember, your subconscious mind is not at odds with science. It does not require abandoning your treatments, but complementing them with the invisible force of active belief. Just as an antibiotic must be administered in the correct dose and timing, your thought must be applied with precision, consistency, and faith. I end this chapter with an affirmation that has freed many from the mental prison of doubt. All my doubts dissolve in the light of truth. I trust in the healing intelligence within me. Nothing is incurable for a mind that knows. Nothing is impossible for love that heals. Today, I begin again. Chapter 12. Living in perfect health preventive maintenance. True health is not the absence of disease. It is a vibratory state, a frequency of harmony between thought, emotion, body, and spirit. It is a constant flow of divine intelligence circulating unobstructed through every cell. Therefore, the goal is not to heal once, but to live in a mental pattern that prevents imbalance from arising in the first place. Isn't it wiser to maintain the system in equilibrium than to wait for it to break before attempting to repair it? In my experience, most people who seek healing arrive too late. They have allowed thoughts of fear, resentment, fatigue, or anxiety to inhabit their minds for years, and then they are surprised when the body, obedient to that psychic atmosphere, manifests ailments. The body is merely responding. It has no will of its own. You, as the mental director of your organism, determine its functioning. Therefore, health must be cultivated daily, like a muscle exercised or an instrument tuned. The first element in this maintenance system is the morning routine of perfect health activation. Upon waking, your mind is in an alpha state, highly receptive to guidance. This is the most powerful moment of the day for programming. Do not start your day by looking at the news, checking bills, or complaining about the weather. Begin by sowing health. Repeat with deep conviction. This is a day of perfection for every cell of my body. Infinite intelligence flows through me. My entire system responds with vitality and harmony. Visualize your organs functioning in perfect synchronization, your blood flowing cleanly, your lungs oxygenating efficiently, and a golden light bathing your entire body. This morning visualization need not last more than 5 minutes, but its impact is immense. You are informing your subconscious of the pattern it must maintain today. At night, apply the evening body review and repair technique. Before sleeping, mentally scan your body from feet to head, giving thanks for each part, visualizing light where you feel tension, and declaring, "Everything that needs repair begins to restore now. During sleep, my body renews completely." Remember, sleep is the laboratory of the subconscious. What you think just before sleeping is what your inner mind processes throughout the night. Do not fall asleep with thoughts of fear, conflict, or fatigue. Use this moment as preventive medicine. Once a week, perform the deep cellular renewal ritual. Choose Saturday or Sunday. Meditate for 20 minutes, visualizing your entire cellular system as an army of light working efficiently. Imagine millions of cells eliminating toxins, regenerating tissue, and harmonizing functions. Repeat affirmations such as, "Every cell of my body now works in perfect obedience to the divine pattern of health." End with deep breathing and gratitude for renewal. This weekly practice acts as a preventive cleansing, avoiding invisible accumulations of stress and energetic toxicity. Each month, dedicate time to what I call health programming updates. This means reviewing your current beliefs, mental habits, and renewing affirmations if necessary. Sometimes we carry ideas that no longer serve us, yet they continue operating in the background as commands to the subconscious. Ask yourself, what thoughts have I been harboring about my health? What phrases do I repeat often? Am I affirming disease or am I affirming wellness? This monthly self-evaluation acts as a mental checkup, diagnosing at the thought level before the body has to manifest symptoms. Once a year, I recommend a plan for evolving towards superior health. This is a mental map to elevate your well-being to the next level. Do not settle for being symptom-free. Aspire to a state of vibrant energy, mental clarity, and physical enthusiasm. Set goals to improve breathing, strengthen your nervous system, increase flexibility, practice new meditation techniques, and introduce deeper affirmations. The body is plastic, renewable. Your cells renew constantly. If you are not improving, it is because you are repeating the same mental pattern. Change the pattern, and the body will obey. How can you detect imbalances before they become disease? Through preventive scanning. Spend 2 minutes anywhere during the day. Close your eyes, focus on your body, and ask, where do I feel tension? Where is there stiffness? What emotion accompanies this sensation? Your body speaks, but you must train your inner ear. A discomfort in the back may be emotional burden, a knot in the stomach, unrecognized fear. Attend to the signal, heal the thought, and the symptom will have no reason to exist. Regarding the immune system, do not wait to get sick to strengthen it. Program daily phrases such as, "My immune system is wise, strong, and always active. No external condition can alter my inner balance." Visualize white blood cells as luminous sentinels moving through your blood with selective intelligence. Imagine your body as a protected city, where no threat can enter without being dissolved by the light of your consciousness. This image nourishes the subconscious with a model of invulnerability. Do not forget the role of emotion. Chronic resentment, persistent stress, and unexpressed anguish are primary causes of disease. Maintaining emotional balance is the highest form of preventive medicine. Learn to forgive quickly, let go of what you cannot control, and laugh daily. Laughter is not entertainment. It is vibrational medicine. It elevates your energy field, harmonizes your glands, and renews your internal chemistry. Do not take life so heavily. The body responds best to the lightness of the soul. Finally, remember this great truth. Health is your natural state. You do not have to force it, just allow it. Your body was designed to self-regenerate, restore, and flourish. Remove mental interferences, and it will do so. The intelligence that keeps the universe in orbit is the same intelligence that keeps your cells functioning. Trust it, cooperate with it, and live each day as a celebration of that invisible power working in you, with you, and for you. And thus we conclude this treatise on the miracles of healing through the subconscious. But remember, every book is just a map. The true miracle occurs when you take these truths, make them your own, and practice them consistently. Then you will see that no ailment cannot be dissolved, no diagnosis cannot be reversed, and no body cannot be restored when aligned with the divine law operating through you. I bless your mind, your body, and your path. Live now in perfect health, for it was decreed from the beginning